Karaoke version, poetry karaoke, round number 2.
Polly's rules.
We had a great night for great round 1 tonight, where we were shared a number of different poems. What did I remember? It was Ireland and the I Love Drugs. What was yours, Maureen? Remember?
I forgot.
From Lunatics and Lovers.
Yeah, it was
Marion
from
County,
Marion
County
County.
Real
Yeah, that was
Estate
what
or
there's.
something like that.
Yeah. What was any other highlights from round 1 we want to visit?
I like Dr. Joe's poem.
Musicians in the gutter. It's time to
Yeah.
slap
Yeah.
somebody or something like that.
Yeah, there was some militancy happening there.
Yeah. Let's go, round 2.
Yeah, and we're playing by Polly's rules tonight, Joe, so you can choose a poet with the first or the last name starting with the letter that you...
Okay.
My entry for round 2, I think I'm just behind Polly with the scores from round 1, so I'm trying to move ahead here. I drew H. Who are some good H poets? Hayden Carruth. We were just talking about him today with a friend. I went to this one for an H to, I believe it said Kim Hyesoon. It's from an anthology called Anxiety of Words. That was one of the featured books over here. So one of you may have put this out.
I did.
You did? Well, this is an interesting and worthwhile look here. Part of the reason I picked it is because I just joined the Sansori High School, and it's founded by a Korean woman named Kristen Kim, who's a very powerful thinker and doer. Miss Kim really believes not only in conceiving of things, but getting out there and making them happen. So, I thought I would read from this anthology. I don't mean to drone on, but I do want to read this first part here to you if I can get over to the light for it. Says, this is the first anthology of Korean women's poetry that challenges one of Korea's most enduring literary traditions. That, I'm not sure how to say this again, but Yoryu, that is female poetry, must be gentle and subservient. But by using innovative language and vividly depicting women's lives and struggles within an often repressive society, these 3 contemporary poets defiantly insist that poetry can be a part of social change. Indeed, that it must be a part of social change.
Yeah.
That's righteous, yeah. So, if you don't mind, Brother Joe, I'm going to return over here. And I selected a poem from this anthology entitled, in English anyway, these were all written originally in Korean and translated by Don-mi Choi. I want to give acknowledgement to the translator for sure. And this poem is called The Phone Rings Endlessly.
Who's it by?
Phone Rings Endlessly by Kim Hyesoon. Many people drifted away past my window, carrying desire and sadness on their backs, desire's leftovers. I didn't drift away. I didn't drift away. I mixed zeal and nothingness, and I produced a day. I produced a year, and faithfully paid monthly installments on death. That's right. The phone rings endlessly. I didn't want to avoid it. Destiny. I wanted to touch it. And even though I might sink into its pit, But at the same time, I locked my door. I locked my ears and my eyes forever. I became robotic to the core. I shouted for rice in the morning, and I shoved in sleep at night. An aging nihilist, a giant of the sky, operates a great machine of nothingness in heaven's empty space. Who will tire first, you or me? Of course, I know the outcome. Also, the fact that I created you. The phone rings endlessly. At the end of the line, your mouth hung like a cave, like a decayed bog. From there, death will decisively call my name someday, and I'll answer. My destiny's burning fuse will explode inside your rotten mouth to perfect the past 30 years of futile, idle futility. Aging nihilist, you'll let out a bloodied, boisterous laugh, and then, with your aged body, you'll silently start the machine of nothingness again, to say you have completed the past several thousand years of futile, idle futility.
Wow.
Thank you, Kim Hyesoon. All right. See, this is such an adventure. It's my very first time here. I want to testify for a minute and say how great it is. I got deeply into the first poem, and I discovered this one brand new. And this is leaping great, I'll say. This is leaping great right here. Next up, we have Maureen to tell us about the letter G. The letter G.
This poem is brought to you by the letter G. It is called Letting Go of Letting Go. It is by Jessica Goodfellow, and the name of the collection is Mendeleev's Mandala. Only after we had already crossed it did my husband tell me the name of the old stone bridge in his hometown. It was the Thinking Bridge. A train to catch. I had no time for turning back to where 1,000 years ago a monk had stood alone with his reflections on the water, between whichever two anchored points his thoughts had been suspended like a life. They had not saved him. A hooded crane flew low beneath the bridge and disappeared. In the pocket of my coat, I touched the green stone. I'd been carrying concealed for nearly 9 months, as if it were a charm, a child, a code. Stone for permanence, green for impermanence. Too late to throw it from the bridge. I dropped it on the road.
Yes. All right, dropping it on the road. Now we're going to go to Dr. Joe. And Dr. Joe, what is your letter, brother?
My letter is C.
C. Dr. Joe chooses C.
C. I got a lot of C's in school. This is in one of these cute figure books. It's really it's by nice. It's a wonderful book. Alison Carter, A Fixed Formal Arrangement. And again, I asked somebody to randomly give me a number for a poem page. It's here somewhere. And on page 62 is the poem Garage Apartment Number 3. Or was it the second I strapped myself in, I stopped breathing? I did not try to be a fortune teller. I did not think. But you can't make a decision to change the course of your life. Change is part of the course of your life. I unbuckled my seatbelt. Last week, I could drive. This week, I can't. I buckled my seatbelt. I turned on the car. I was going to puke. I wasn't going to puke. It doesn't matter. People are nice. I turned off the car. I tried not to be the fortune teller. I had remembered a bottle of water, a soda, and a piece of food. All I had to do was open the garage door. I turned the car back on. I breathed in my nose and out my mouth. I wasn't getting enough oxygen. I breathed deeper. I got too much oxygen. I tried not to be the fortune teller. It doesn't matter. I got too much oxygen. I was going to faint. I was going to breathe. I had stopped breathing. I realized I wasn't breathing. I breathed in my nose and out my mouth. I didn't get enough oxygen. I got too much oxygen. I was controlling my heartbeat. There wasn't oxygen in the garage. I pushed the button to open the garage door. It was a clear day. The sky was huge. I could see its hugeness in the rearview mirror. I turned off the car. I leaned back so as not to puke. I went through the steps in my head. Look out for cargo trucks. You can go slow. There's no law against it. You can put on the hazards. You can open the windows so you can get enough oxygen. Then on the highway, you can close them. It is easy to go straight. Open spaces are not scary. The doctor is at the other end. There are fields on either side of the highway. You can pull onto those fields. It doesn't matter. Farmers are nice. It's okay to pull onto the fields. I turned on the car. I turned off the car.
Is that poet related to Heisenberg in some way, right? That both was and was not a poem, right? And somehow the garage apartment drove off like an arc. Is that right?
That's number 4.
Woo! Well, all right. Who's the poet again?
This is Alison Carter.
Alison Carter. All right. All right, let's hear it for Alison Carter. And a great interpretation by Dr. Joe. Dr.
Yay.
Joe, thank you, brother. All right. Now then we have Schandra with the letter.
Oh.
Oh. Now when you wrote your dice, you said, oh.
So the lovely poet representing the letter O is Eunice. She's a 20th century Costa Rican poet. And I've never read any of her stuff. Fire's Journey is part 1 of 4. We only have part 1. Joe. Integration of the parents. 1. And the grain mixes with the drop of flesh, the high provider of touch and hearing, at whose white contract the salts stir, and phosphorus resumes its physical joy. All neighbors of the flesh form fields of wheat emptiness, gather in its vicinity to nourish the verb time that matter demands, the verb of the deep innumerable child, treading toward the ecstasy of the first movement. 2. In the first movement, a hollowing noise endured until it rotated motionless, and the breath ran beside the nimbus, with the foot of a fixed and endless throne. The curled pearl undulated forward, and the calm, childlike parents, feeling for the shining contact, touched their favorite loving organs. 3. Then, space opened and remained deserted. A seed blinked, and an internal eye elapsed. 4. The bone declined to whiteness and discovered itself liquid, flooding its future cavities and their coming bitter smells. But a summer full of fish and mangers transformed what were merely vestments into solid presence, and a great cycle of maternal flesh was fulfilled.
Had you read that poem before?
No?
No? Brand new?
Yep.
Okay.
Brand new.
That's some of the greatness here. You discover something wonderful that you weren't expecting before. Yes, letter.
Okay.
No. K!
It's
It was
backwards.
Oh, it was. Oh,
Wait, but
okay.
on the camera, it might be.
Maybe like put that other arm straight up.
Oh yeah, but we're not getting your
The
leg
other-
on the
the other
camera.
arm.
Yeah.
Your left arm.
Straight up?
Yes,
That's
there you
nice.
go. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Like this.
Woo! All right, the letter K. Oh, thanks, y'all. I learned something there. Okay. Poetry acrobatics.
Oh, yeah.
We're okay.
So, all right, I got K, and I selected a collection called Women in Public by Elaine Kahn, who I'd never heard of before. And the poem I'm going to read is called Everything Feels Important to a Tiny Person. When my car got towed, you lent me the money, but were kind of an asshole. We waited in the impound lot. I stuck the toe of my sneaker into a puddle, and it was the color of fish. Tonight, I rubbed cream on your ass. It felt worthwhile, though not exactly great. You told me a story about New Jersey. I had many different thoughts, and they were all great. I guess what I'm saying is, if I baked you a pie, you would sweat while you ate it with your perfect lips.
Woo! That's it. I think that's my favorite so far tonight. Yeah. Rock and roll. All right, say your name again.
Elaine Kahn,
Elaine Kahn.
K-A-H-N?
K-A-H-N.
K-A-H-N. All right, Elaine Kahn. Kicking ass.
Yeah.
All right. Here we are with Brother Joe Hoppe. Who wants to guess what letter his is?
W.
Tell him, Brother Joe.
What's this? P, yes.
Yeah, you have to do charades with every poem. That's Polly's rules.
Okay. So this is from D.A. Powell, who teaches at University of San Francisco. Tell us about D.A. Powell.
His name's Doug. He's really nice.
Okay, so it's really nice. And I like the title of this poem. It seems to be one of those poems that plays a lot with language and bumps images up against each other and makes parts from the images, and the images and what they connote and the way they interact with each other are an important aspect. This is called Clown Burial in Winter. So how could you not like Clown Burial in Winter? Meringue icing beaten over hot water, ruffle-edged, and the occasional rosette atop an otherwise vanilla sheet cake boxed in paraffin cardboard, raffia tie. Maybe we can squint the midget into pastry instead of the polymer rosin. Maybe we can squint the midget into pastry instead of the polymer rosin rectangular planter, impervious to drought, unlike its plumes of maiden grass gone dead, despite the youthful fuzz and tolerance to neglect. That's one way to abide the loss, or change the japer to a swan, pallid jewel set in the mind's frozen lake, just long enough to dip its beak. Sheep storm, imminent. Cloud bank gathering, diminished. Pinhead shatter. What madness drew this little man's painted grimace? Downturned mouth on white face. His droopy drawers canvas the landscape. A band of tin whistles plays. Pop! The balloons is a fine serenade. Burst of applause. Burst of applause.
Does it really say burst of applause?
It does.
At the
It
end?
only says it once.
Oh.
You guys missed your cue.
That was the Jeb Bush, one of the Jeb Bush virals,
Clap,
right? Where it said, please applaud, or
Oh.
clap now, or something like that. I forget what it was. Right on. Thank you, Brother Joe Hoppe. All right, here we go for the last and final contestant, Stephanie, with a letter that's very close to my heart, the B's. Come on.
B for Brad.
Okay, so with the letter B, I selected a book by Dodie Bellamy that's called Cunt Norton.
Which is a joke on Burnt Norton.
Right. I had
About a
read
wrecked motorcycle.
one poem in this book before, but it was not the one that I'm about to read to you. This one is called Cunt Cummings. Girl, let's have fun. Here, dab my tears that float many bells down. Spring on your hands and knees. Let's pluck and dance as woman and man, both fingered. Hey, pumpkin fuck, what my eyes sow isn't what they reap. Help me go from total abjection to a few and down. Shower me with forgetting. How I long to love you more by more, to drown inside you, crying until my grief bird snows and stirs. When I feed you with my cum, my everyone laughs its cryings, knowing how I love to talk dirty to you. You say your nevers, then sleep at your desk without explaining. How childish I am, longing for your water cooler, always feeling so many bells down. One day, my anyone dies, consumed by busy, unable to bury itself inside you, so little but thinking of you. I bet you have the cutest deep, and more by more I dream of slamming into you, who can come just by spirit and if by yes. Women like you make sounds like broken bubbles. You winter me, and I spring up, reap my sowing, and go for fucking. I can see it now. You fucking through dooms of love, through sames, your body swiveled for just a second. And I, through halves of give, sing each moan before I suck your breast through depths of height. No more motionless, no more forgetting about the kissing and the petting shining here. My so timid air grows firm. I'm sucking your nipples as from unburied, floating the first few times, making little nibbles. We swarm our fates, waking our dreamers to their ghosts, and so we savor newness completely, weeping for what our fingers shall bring. When you blow bubbles in my ear and cry out, I can feel my mountain grow. Lift it and close your lips around it tighter. Move through griefs of joy, praising my foreskin. When we fuck like demons, joyful is our song. Joy so pure, I'd never give my heart to anybody else. Would you? Now and now, so yes, my wrists of twilight work your nipples, dragging them beyond the conceiving mind. My son stands erect and I'm thinking of my father, dreaming his flesh in your flesh, his blood too. When I'm sucking you, my food, I'm no cripple. Won't you creep 1 mile with me, small or in between? Only you can pomp my must and shall, can move my father through me uncircumcised. With your nipples, rain pity on me till I turn green as grain. Dodie Bellamy.
firecracker poem. And yeah, it started me off thinking about T.S. Eliot, but then I realized it was Cummings.
Yeah, well, that one was coming. Stephanie, let me see that.
Yes, it's great. So there's like
So-
Cunt Chaucer, Cunt
Yeah, let's
Lake,
see.
Cunt Wordsworth.
Each one is
It's in
a
their
riff,
style. Oh,
a
there's
Cunt riff on a famous poet.
yeah, and it's
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's
subverting
all-
it because yeah. So
There's Dunn, there's Milton, there's
Interesting.
Blake. Ooh, let's look at Blake.
there's also Cunt
Oh,
Ashbury,
man.
which is maybe my personal favorite type.
How can you?
Yeah, how about an encore? Do Cunt Ashbury. Let's have an encore, huh? Stephanie with Cunt Ashbury?
Yeah.
Sure.
I just want to hear some more curse words.
Yeah, I haven't read
All
it.
right.
I don't.
I'm
know.
still
Right.
stuck on the cream on the ass.
Yeah. How pointless that is.
I'm like,
All right.
Nope, not doing this one.
Not doing that one, okay.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, not
Maybe
doing
the
it.
last one, but not this one. I
Well,
have
but
to
see, okay, am I gonna go on record saying it? I don't like
no.
Ashbury.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like Hyde Ashbury, like
John Ashbury.
Yeah, John Ashbury. Yeah, that's a different scene altogether.
All right, let's go tonight.